Was it challenging for you to understand because you wanted him to be daddy, and then daddy had a mission and an agenda, and he was off marching and doing all this? What did you make of that? Because you
Well,
wanted daddy.
well, I thought everybody's daddy was doing that. I didn't realize until much later in life, after I got out of high school, actually, that people were not going to jail. People were not marching. People didn't get crosses burned in front of their houses. Black cars, sedans, didn't ride by their house. And then the police come. And other people didn't have people sleeping on their floor that they didn't know when they woke up in the morning, like I did. And they were doing things like going to football games and going to vacations, and I didn't know anything about any of that. And so that's when I saw him, he was so much bigger than life, and my mother knew very well how to both run the household, run the office, keep his life together, keep our lives together, and try to have a little piece saved for her and her mother. So I just, wanted to be with him. I remember jumping on the back of paddy wagons, because usually they pull the paddy wagon up and they fill it up with as many as they could on the way to jail. And I'd make sure I was in there, and I was just doing this because this is what Daddy was doing. I never had really a sense of fear or any of that because he was there. And so even in this house, we always had people moving in and into this house. Movements. I can tell you that he organized the wrestlers. Came home one day, the house was full of wrestlers because they weren't being treated right. He even organized, Rose, the prostitutes. Because downtown Atlanta, they were having the white prostitutes work the fancy hotels and the black prostitutes work the streets. He had a house full of ladies of the night one day when I came home. There were always people sleeping in sleeping bags on the floor. And, this is a total different kind of life than I grew up in Savannah with when he was working as a chemist and my mother was the head of library studies at Savannah State.
What did he tell you about why he was committed and devoted to this civil rights agenda? What did he tell you about that?
It was always the word freedom. We got to get our freedom. And we got to take care of the poor. So there were those two sides of that coin. And whatever getting our freedom meant to me as a young person, it had a lot to do with the time we went in the ice cream parlor to get ice cream on the Sunday, and the guy told us we don't serve no niggas here. Mm-hmm. So I knew freedom had something to do with not being able to get served where I wanted to be, not being able to be safe on the street, not being able to go to the school I wanted to, not being able to have the opportunities, and these are large words for a young girl under 12.